Well, welcome to the channel, viewers. There's a lot of people that are now, including all of us, we're being confronted with where we're going in life, what we're doing with our life, and how we're managing our life. And these choices are having impacts on the people around us. Some people are just letting people sink to the bottom. They're coming into their lives and they couldn't care less if they succeed or fail, or whatever the case might be. These are described in the Bible as people without common sense. And they like to keep company with people without common sense. People without common sense are described in the Bible as being dead to growth and morality and integrity. They'll pull everything down around them as far as they can to justify their lifestyle. It's just how it works. And we have to accept that and be used to it. A lot of people do not want to face improvement. They don't want to be told that they may be straying from common sense. And that's a personal decision that they can make. It's not one I'm going to make. I'm going to keep forging towards justice and joy in my relationships. I've just had some really deteriorating situations that have been totally unnecessary, but that's human nature. And that's how it works. Narcissism doesn't show itself until after the claws are in. Then the devaluation phases start. If you haven't studied narcissism, I suggest that you do. You might learn some things about yourself like I have. And you might even question if you are a narcissist. And that's what come to my mind. And you get checked out and you find out whether you are or not. It's easy to call people narcissists, but the problem with it is people don't realize exactly what it is. We found out too that medicated people that medicate over and above doctors' prescriptions, the devil's lettuce people and the alcoholics remain poor in spirit as well, and they will never be rich because they waste their money on futility. It's in your face, the Bible, isn't it? But it's true. It's hard for those that aren't living in this dimension. They hate it. They turn it away from it and they scorn the Bible. You'll have people say, well, I hope your God sets you free. Be careful. He knows what's going on in the homes of the wicked along with the homes of the righteous. And he will allow the fruit of their way to come on them. And if you don't believe me, have a look around yourself and decide, how is life going for you? Are you making the right decisions? Is your life becoming easier as you get older, or is it becoming harder? That's your problem, not mine. I got enough to deal with in my own life, and this is why I do these videos, to confront people in a way in which they'll be able to stop and go, that could be something I need to do some work on. The thing is, those who shut their ears to the cries of the poor will be ignored in their own time of need. People who don't want to bring resolve will end up without resolve. And it's a vicious generational cycle that goes on and on and on. Because we lead by example. And if we influence our children in the wrong way, they will carry on with our example, believe it or not. There are a few black sheep that go, no, I'm not going to carry on the way you've lived, it didn't work, and they break away. There's always a scapegoat, but when the scapegoat leaves the home, that can put a lot of pressure on the golden child, who now has no one to pass on the blame to. The scapegoat usually is the rescuer in the home. The golden child usually is the grandiose, false leader of the home. And they can become very quarrelsome if things don't go their way. But if we look at the next passage, it says, the wicked are punished in place of the godly. This is what people don't understand when they allow people of light into their lives. Once you start attacking a person of the light that's just coming to bring good, and this is what I used to say to my girlfriends, I've only come to bring good and you seem like you're enjoying it. What's all this trouble going on? In some way or another, they think that you're going to be punished or something like this, but it all comes down to motive. It all comes down to the heart. If you have come along to do good and to try and build into that person's life, and you're being confronted with layers and levels of wickedness, it could be emotional, mental, physical, or it could be family members and triangulation. Again, triangulation seems to be the predominant one in our lives, although it's often direct as well. With narcissistic behaviour, they'll bring everything down with them. But when the wicked think the punishment, their idea of what punishment is going to attack the godly, or befall on the godly, these silly people don't realise that the wicked are punished in place of the godly, and traitors in place of the honest. See this? This is how you can work out who's real and who's not. Because when the relationship's finished, okay, and all the push comes to shove and whatever is going on's done, then we see what the results are in people's lives. Because if you've neglected your relationship for one reason or another, you become simple-minded. You see, when you meet people, they mirror you and they know everything. And then as the relationship goes on, they don't seem to know anything at all. And this is the hard part about it, because the love bombing stage, people will demonstrate all kinds of intelligence and mastermindery. Then when the issues start to arise and there's things that need to be fixed, all of a sudden the intelligence and mastermindedness seems to disappear. That's the sad part of the process of a bad relationship. And what happens is, because these people, as we read earlier, are terrified of resolve, they turn the blame onto other people. They turn the blame onto the people that are nearest to them, or the people involved. That's why there's courts of justice. And this is what people don't realise. The Lord knows what's going on. And just because these people don't know the Lord and his ways, they don't think that anything's going on. They only see in their peripheral. They don't see the peripheral view of what's going on. They only have tunnel vision of what they are perceiving. And that's why these people end up poor and wrecked and ruined and out of sorts, because they have no peripheral view of what they're doing to impact the people around them. That's what the problem is. And the wicked think that people that are trying to do good are going to be punished, and sometimes they are. Sometimes there's injustice, which brings sadness. But ultimately, the wicked, those that are making nuisances of themselves, those that ain't doing the work, they're starting relationships and they're unable to finish them, they are punished. See, people say things like, will my ex have karma? Irrelevant. Totally irrelevant. We come into people's lives and they come into our lives, and we're already in karma, the karma of the things that we've done. So any accumulation on top of that ain't going to make much difference. That's just how life works. But the problem is, if you are in a relationship and it's been triangulated, or you've been cheated on, or they've lied to you, or they've stolen large amounts of money from you, and they've tricked you and deceived you, and they kept letting you down, and you kept trying to be godly, right? They put themselves in the place of the punishment, whatever that punishment is. They think that the godly and the honest are going to be punished. But it's the wickeds and the traitors that go into that place of punishment. It's just how it works. It's just how life is. So we don't need to. In fact, that's why Jesus said pray for the people that are doing wrong. There's a car chase in the background. Or something's happened. That's the third siren. That's why you shouldn't curse people when things have gone wrong, because it's all based on their characteristic formation. And if they haven't got the spiritual and psychological peripheral vision to be able to see that this situation's a result of some kind of breakdown on their part, or if you can't see if it's some kind of breakdown on your part or my part, the consequences of that come back on us. So to be foolish enough to think that everybody else is, going to get in trouble for the mistakes that we make ourselves, that's lying to ourselves. We're not being honest with ourselves, and this is where the trouble starts. You have to be honest with yourself. I'm Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, theologist. Thank you for joining me, and bye for now.